fast enough.
Well, that's just presupposing that, because the whole issue here is that you're already assuming that that's Daniel's ceiling. So you want to prove that?
What do you mean by ceiling?
So we know that James is adjusting throughout the fight. I mean, he makes this, or he understands how Daniel's ability works and how he adjusts. So essentially, what happens is that you do know how like Daniel's UI works, right?
He just fights efficiently, yeah.
No, not necessarily. It's not just that. Also, could you? I'm fine with Vortex being here, but could you refrain from like spreading this around or like inviting a bunch of people?
We'll invite people.
Wait, hold on. No, it is no. UI is really just indexed to fighting efficiently. Then what you're talking about, which
Wait.
is
Did you hear? Did you hear what I said?
Well.
Wait, hold on. Did you hear what I said? Don't invite a bunch of people. By the way, this is a private. I'm fine with Vortex. But yeah, it's not just indexed to efficiently fighting. You do know that, right? Like the whole.
You can probably add like more and more, but then the fighting style would be indexed to that. Yeah, just stayed in the same fight.
Oh wait, what'd you say? I don't understand.
You can add like more. You can add like more and more truth to it, or more and more like
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. No, this is
going to be always responded to fighting efficiently. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily just only in fighting efficiently. Like the whole thing is that in regards to their fight, Daniel quite literally switches opponents because he thinks that TUI gun is much stronger, right? Do you agree to that or no?
I'm fine with gun being stronger, but I'm not sure why.
No, that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. Like, do you agree?
If you're asking me whether or not he switched him, whether
gun
is stronger,
yeah, because gun is stronger, right?
No, I'm not sure. No.
You don't know? Okay, so essentially the way that UI works is that he seeks out the strongest opponent. Like we see this with Jin Young. We see this with like Daniel. We see this with what's it called? Gu, whenever he like adjusts and changes strength. Like it's just like do you like when he fights Jin Young, he switches his opponents instead of killing Warren in them. He switches to Jin Young.
No, because it's just going to be something which is immediately more. It's going to be something which is immediately more dangerous than, dangerous than the guy he's fighting at the moment.
Yes,
he needs to eliminate that first, pretty much.
Hold on. Yeah, danger is a part of it, but what causes them to be more dangerous is because of their strength and other factors, of course. But what other factors? Hold on, wait. Stop. What other factors are in effect here? That shows a distinguishing factor between like why Daniel would switch opponents if it's not strength based.
Okay.
Like what causes gun to be more dangerous? Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just explained the instances that you brought up. It's something which is going to be indexed to D'Angelo. Obviously, that's something which is usually corresponding to your strength. But then when he does actually switch to the guy who's more dangerous, he immediately starts to attack it. So for example, against Gu, when Gu turned up in danger low, he just immediately attacked his gun down. Against Daniel, when OG Daniel started using king attacks, he immediately started attacking him. With gun, he just started staying him. I'm not sure why that would be the case.
Okay, I don't think you're understanding here because it's completely in this case it's quite literally indicative of strength. That's the only reason why he would be able to switch. Because wait, hold on, stop. I just let you speak. Stop. The whole point is that he sees gun from a distance, stops attacking James, and he seemingly switches his strength level. Like I won't comment on that, but that's what the seemings are, right? That's why he switches opponents from YUI gun. I mean, not my bad, James to YUI gun. You haven't shown like a step. Like hold on, you haven't shown. Sorry, my bad. Let me just finish the part. Yeah, you haven't shown a separate reason as to why gun would be more dangerous in this case. As to why like he wouldn't switch, or wait, he would switch. My bad. Like what causes him to be more dangerous? Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Okay. So if the thing we're talking about is whether or not he switched because gun is stronger, and you brought up other cases where UI, a character who's fighting in UI switches to the target who's more dangerous. I'm telling you, yeah, that's fine. That's going to be indexed to the danger level. Obviously, it's stated several times. But then when you see those instances, you can't really attribute it to this instance because the guy doesn't immediately attack gun. So that's the thing that's going to be distinct between this case and that in those cases. That's why I brought it up.
Actually, he does immediately attack gun whenever they're close enough. He doesn't straight just rush at him. Like this is just hold on. Wait, stop. I'm speaking. I just said you speak. Stop. Yeah. Anyways, right. You were trying to say that he doesn't immediately attack him which that's not necessarily true. Within range, right? Whenever he fights efficiently, this is just going to be indexed to him fighting efficiently, and he doesn't need to rush into TUI gun. The whole thing is just to capture like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be like a fucking dope ass battle or whatever, right? That's one of the things, and the second thing is that this doesn't necessarily have to be the most efficient case where he doesn't need to necessarily run toward gun in order for it to be efficient. But he still sees gun and changes his opponent and this is indicative of the danger level. And I'm asking you like, what shows like the difference? Like what's the difference here? Is it strength or what is it? Like you haven't given me the distinction yet.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So again, when you're saying that, well, given you can just explain it by him fighting efficiently. No, obviously I agree with that. But then the way you actually observe the ability working usually, and the way when he usually
Wait,
fights.
zero what? Sorry, my bad. I didn't catch that. Sorry.
Yeah,
Zero
you
what?
repeat it?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. Yeah.
I thought you said zero or what? Like zero, the number.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just heard the word zero. I didn't hear what you said with it. My
Yeah,
bad.
I said obviously you can explain this like difference in action by a desire to fight efficiently. That's pretty much something that you can explain with Daniel all the time. But that's kind of like a dumb get out of jail free card, because when we do see the ability working, uh, all the time we see it working. He just when he is trying to fight efficiently, he just does a different action. So when you want to attribute it to him fighting efficiently, then my case would just have a bigger pool of evidence for it. So you can say he's trying to fight efficiently there. I can say okay, he's trying to fight efficiently, but then he just didn't switch because the guy is stronger than James. Which I obviously I agree that T.I. Gun is stronger than James, but maybe he changed to him because he's like also a UI opponent or something like that. And then by the way, with when they were up close together,
Wait.
he still didn't try to attack him immediately. They still stared us down
Oh,
for a
okay.
good long time.
What? Okay, I don't. What? Okay, the whole case, the whole case is. Well, you're trying to say that you brought up this like distinction where he attacks based on this, and like what else was it? Like I didn't really catch what you're saying. What else did you say?
Excuse me? Can you repeat the question?
What else were you trying to say? Like, could you like summarize? Because like you said a lot. My bad.
In what? Like in the whole response?
Well, you said yeah. Sorry about. So I was reading chat too. Yeah. So you said like, shout out to Krebs. You said like, something along the lines of one of the reasons could be like he's a UI fighter, right? That was one thing. And then that was the second thing. And then the first thing was that, they like in the other instances he does an attack different or he immediately attacks, and then the other thing was like, there's an instance where like, hey, the what's known as efficient is like changing certain attacks. Were those the three things?
No, given that if you want to index it to the desire to fight efficiently, and then when we do observe him wanting to fight efficiently, he does fight differently than against gun. Then I can say he still wants to fight efficiently against gun, obviously. But then the reason he switched would be different, not because of his danger level. So that's why I'm saying I'll have kind of like trouble saying that it's because he's stronger, because this is marginally different than the other instances.
It's not really. Your interpretation is marginally different because they have a stare down in the beginning. But that's not necessarily saying like, yeah, man, like, oh, this is no longer indicative to like, oh, fighting efficiently. Like that's just not true. That's your assumption on it.
He's still fighting efficiently. I'm
Yeah,
just saying that
but
he does switch due to danger level. He switches and does something different. That's the
okay.
response.
Yeah, all right. So you think that he switches because of danger levels, right? That's one of the things.
So one of the things, yeah, but I don't think that's the case with gun. I'm not sure whether or not that's the case with gun.
Wait, what? Wait, okay, then what's the case with gun? You just said that this is the case with James or whatever, or the other cases, my bad, not James. But you said that this isn't the case with gun. What's the case with gun then?
I don't really have to explain to you what's happening there. I'm just saying it's probably not that because of the difference. Like I could say maybe it's because both of them are using UI and something like that, and they're just both UI fighters.
Well, I don't. Well, but why? Like, why would that be the case? Like, and even in the UI case, right? Because you're trying to make this assumption where, okay, yeah, so we have the case where he's not adjusting to danger levels or whatnot, and it's not necessarily danger levels, but some other arbitrary case. I'm saying what makes that likely? Like, you haven't given me a reason for that.
Okay, first and foremost, your response was saying that well, the guy switched because he's stronger. I'm saying, well, this is my interpretation of what happened, and I can say anything else besides him being a UI user. Literally anything else.
Wait,
But
sorry,
saying
my
that
bad. Let me
switching
up
to Daniel.
your volume. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't have to stick with this. I don't have to say, okay, well, it's because it's UI. I can say literally anything else. Like, for example, maybe Gun. I don't know, maybe Gun is like his uncle or whatever, and that's why he switched to him, or some other dumb shit like that. Like literally any dumb shit. But if it's not going to be problematic with the other instances I've shown already, or we see with Daniel when he actually does switch in accordance to danger level, then that's automatically going to be more likely because yours is just inconsistent with how the ability actually is shown usually.
It's not inconsistent though, because you're trying to assume that he's not adjusting to the danger level. That's your assumption in the very beginning. I'm saying that his ability works consistently this way. So what's the distinction here? And what's the distinction in him changing based on strength level? And in the case of danger, like what causes the danger to actually happen? Like in the case of Goo, he switches completely and charges at him because of how much he has to adjust and how dangerous it actually is. That's literally the reason why that happens.
I don't get the response. You said, well, like, why is he not
Do
adjusting
you
to strength level?
wanna? Huh?
Did you say he's adjusting to strength level? I agree he's usually adjusting. I'm just saying that here he switched because of probably something else. Because like I
Yeah.
said,
Okay. Okay.
if you want to say, okay, if you want to like try and explain like the other gaps
No,
where
that's
he just
not.
immediately
My
charges
bad,
on,
bud.
if you want to if you want to explain like the other instance for why he immediately charged at the guy, you can say he's way weaker and he had to just a massive, a more big or a bigger jump in strength level when he actually does adjust. You can say that might explain it, but then still that would still be under the desire to actually fight efficiently. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but that would still be under the umbrella of fighting efficiently. And when he does fight efficiently, he still does have a different response. So that's why I'm confused about it.
Wait. Hold on. Repeat what you said. What? You
Like
said. You
any
said.
explanation. Yeah, I'm gonna repeat it.
Okay. Got it.
Any explanation that you can try and bring out for this. Like for example, against Goo, he just had a way bigger jump when he was adjusting to Goo. That's fine, but that would still be under the umbrella of wanting to fight efficiently, right? So if we're trying to explain it under that, the ability which is trying to fight efficiently does usually have a different response to this sort of situation where you want to say he switched to a danger level or he switched or adjusted based on danger level. Like obviously, if he's fighting gun and he's going to be like stronger than gun, he's still going to adjust to gun. That's not the issue. The issue here is whether or not he switched to gun because he's more strong. He's stronger than James rather. That's my issue.
Okay, the thing is that he senses the danger of gun, and I'm saying what's indicative of the danger, what causes the danger, what makes gun more dangerous than James, and you're saying that it doesn't have to be that. But I'm saying that this is consistent with all the cases in which has happened. You're saying that this isn't necessarily consistent because of the fact that, hey, they do a stare down, and that stare down isn't necessarily what happens in all the other fights. But that's not true. The whole thing, like I could give a reason as to why this would be more efficient or why this is efficient, like the stare down and everything. Like I can give you a reason. Do you want that?
Okay.
Okay.
We're talking
Do
about
you
hold
wait?
on, relax. I want to clarify something. We're
Okay,
talking
go
about
ahead.
the whole thing about whether or not he switched to gun because of his danger level. How gun would admit his danger level? I mean, obviously, just aura. Aura is very consistent in One Piece. Or sorry, not One Piece. Sorry, Lookism. Like, there's when you have aura or when you have like a certain danger level, you're gonna emit a certain level of presence, pretty much. That's how UI Daniel also adjusts. But then that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about whether or not he switched to gun because he's more dangerous. Just haven't given me a reason for that. So if you want to attempt to explain anything
Oh,
else
okay,
by saying
hold on.
that was efficient as well, that's cool. But then that just falls under the umbrella of what I said. That's not really
Hold on. Yeah,
my
sorry.
response.
Yeah, I'll give you a response. Yeah. No, dude, that's literally just how UI works. We've seen it being consistently the case. I'm saying that what's the other reason for him switching to gun? You said that, hey, it's not necessarily a mission of danger level, or it could just be like whatever causes the danger level, regardless, right? And I'm saying, right, in regards to that, it's either an emission of strength and or something else, right? And I'm saying that it's most likely strength, or what would it rather be? And then the other thing is that if it's not danger level, like what presents like why wouldn't it be danger level? Like why would he switch for any other reason? Like you haven't given me that. You just said that, hey, like it could be some sort of
Right.
stupid reason, and I'm saying, yeah, but what makes that more probable than the multiple consistent cases that we've gotten? And I've already addressed why these are consistent regardless of the distinctions that are held.
Okay. So just look at this. Okay, I'm gonna say this last thing, and then if we go circular again, I'm gonna move on. So
Okay.
you just look at it. Look at it as disjunct. It's either he either switched to gun because of his strength level, or he switched to gun because of something else. So say either or. If he switched to gun because of danger level, I can observe that there's going to be some kind of inconsistency with other showings. Then you can explain this inconsistencies by saying it would be explained by some kind of desire to fight efficiently, and that would just be more efficient in those instances. But if him adjusting to gun would also be kind of under the umbrella of wanting to fight efficiently, because that's pretty much the whole purpose of fighting in UI, or that's how UI Daniel fights specifically on people with those kind of UI. Then the thing is, he's still trying to fight efficiently, so it would fall under the same umbrella as those other instances, yet he's having a different response. So that would be the inconsistency there. And so that's why I'm not really too eager on
Wait,
taking
what's
that
the
option. Or I
inconsistency?
can
Sorry.
say it's something.
Wait.
Sorry?
Wait, my bad. Sorry, could you repeat the inconsistency? My bad. I don't want to cut you off to say an argument. I just want you to repeat why it's inconsistent.
Yeah, it's inconsistent because, well, given given guns, given Daniels rather, sorry. Given Daniel's desire to fight efficiently, and that's what UI fighting is usually indexed to, especially with Daniel, as just said several times. Um, you can explain those other instances where he does just immediately charge at the guy with saying, okay, well, that would be more efficient in those instances. In those instances. That's cool, but then that'll still be under the umbrella of wanting to fight efficiently. So when you say, well, this guy didn't charge a gun because that would be more efficient, still when he does want to fight efficiently, he does usually have a different response. So you can say that would be a good asphalt, but then we have to actually know that there's something different about the situation. Well, so that's why I'm not too eager on taking the first option. I can just say, well, given that's kind of weird to say, I would just say something else. Like for example, they're both UI fighters, and that would give Daniels a kind of other reason not to charge at them.
Well, Daniel just fights based on he doesn't have a distinctive reason to fight. It's just to fight. That's why he's known as this killing machine, right? And to explain the inconsistency here as to why it's more efficient, it's not because of some arbitrary reason. You're saying that in the cases where he just charges instantaneously or instantly, right? In those other cases, that doesn't diminish the fact that this is efficient as well. Strictly due because, hey, if gun charges in at Daniel has a better chance to counter. They still need to scope out the entire area. Daniel is also a fighter in regards to area, which is why he kicks gun from the fucking building, and that was the best action or best choice, right? He doesn't necessarily need to just charge in order for it to be the most efficient thing. And you're saying that this is an ass pull or just some sort of arbitrary reason, but that's not necessarily the case. He doesn't charge in, and then in the first interaction they have, the reason why he doesn't need to necessarily charge in is because he could have just been easily counterable in that case. He could have been more vulnerable, and it's better within closer distances, which is also why Daniel could have also found hey, UI Daniel, in the case of efficiency to fight that same way. Those are the way to reconcile these things. I don't think you have a reason for why it would be the other case or other cases.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. If
my
bad. If you think I'm going circular, we can just I don't know. I don't know if you want this to be a debate. If you want judged, but if not, we can just.
Sorry.
If you want, we can just move on from this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like we just talked about everything we want to talk about. But if
Okay,
you do want to debate, I'd not talk about this point again because we just talked about it.
Yeah, do you want to talk about another take on your tier list?
Well, yeah, but first I'd like to clarify what was the contention about? Because just saying Gun was stronger than James, what is that different?
Oh, I was just saying that. Well, that wasn't necessarily the contention. The contention is that Daniel specifically adjusts to certain strength levels and certain danger levels, right? And depending on how strong the opponent or how fast the opponent is, he's going to emit that much strength or speed. And I'm saying that you would need to prove that James is on that upper ceiling in order to state that, yeah, James is above Daniel or on the higher end, because you're saying that, hey, James is able to push him and he's not necessarily able to react, which I don't necessarily think is true in their interaction. I do think that Daniel is able to interact. I think that Daniel is also able to block certain attacks. and I think that the cases in which he's the most efficient was in their interaction. I think that's actually where he's the most efficient. Um,
Okay.
and that's just my seemings. And then the other thing is that like I don't think you could prove that James is on the upper ceiling based on this interaction because he clearly
Okay.
states that he adjusts and that Daniel like he understands how like that UI works.
Okay, but it just seems weird to me to say, well, like, can you prove that the guy is literally just not holding back? Because given the adjustment ability works, I'm not sure if you think it goes up as well, but unless Daniel just doesn't have a ceiling, he would have to be capping somewhere, and then if he's capping somewhere, then he can't just adjust down to everyone. So that's like me saying,
I
can you
actually
prove
think
that
he
James Lee
can.
was going out? That's just retarded. Like, still seemingly on screen
No,
they go out.
no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that James Lee would have to be on that upper end of that adjustment or at the end of the adjustment level. And I'm saying that you're presupposing the ceiling for the adjustment levels. That's what I'm saying.
No,
So
seemingly
you
because
saying, yeah, so what I'm saying is that the Daniel that James fights isn't the strongest version of Daniel. I'm saying that overall UI Daniel would be stronger, not from necessarily indicative of their fight. I'm saying that the ceiling you haven't really covered what that ceiling is or why that this would be the case of yeah, this is his highest point of adjustment.
we can talk
Yeah.
about why I don't think Daniel was adjusted either, but so it just the reason it seems weird to me is because you're saying that because the guy just adjusts down, but then to adjust down, presumably you'd have to be stronger than the other guy, right? So when you say, okay, well, why is James sorry, why is Daniel actually exerting himself fully, or why is James strong enough to exert himself fully? Then I can say the same thing. Or why is Daniel strong enough to make the guy go all out? Maybe James is the one holding back. Like that's obviously not productive at all.
Oh, no, I think it is. I think that's a pretty good point. Like, why would they, like, for instance, like, Gun just states outright, like, hey, like, you can adjust depending, depending on how strong X person is, you'll be that strong, or there was no real distinction between how strong or how fast X would have to be in order for him to adjust. And I'm thinking that's just the UI's ability. And then the second thing yeah, the whole point is you can ask me the same thing but the burden is on you, which is why I asked that question first. Like that was like the whole point.
Okay, so just to be clear, do you think that if someone is stronger than Daniel physically, he's still gonna adjust to them?
I don't think that's really like I think that's what's in question.
I'm
Like
asking, like, just to be clear.
you would have to prove that there is anyone stronger than Daniel physically. Like
No,
that's
obviously, right.
what's in question.
Obviously, right. But then I'm asking, do you think the ability works like that?
Yeah, and that's why I think UI Little Daniel's so strong. Yeah.
Oh, brother. Oh, so you think someone who's stronger than you physically, if you adjust down to other people, you say that you're gonna adjust up to that person? I have
Well, yeah,
very.
I just think that's how UI works. Yeah.
Oh,
Specific
brother.
to
Okay.
the Daniels. Yeah. I mean, that's just
Okay.
how it's explicitly stated. Unless you think that there's like a different understanding of it, I like.
Yeah, obviously. But the reason I don't think it's productive is because, well, when you say, yeah, it's just possible that the guy is like holding back. Like, yeah, the possibility is granted on both sides that both guys are holding back or not really
Well,
exerting themselves fully. But then that's granted, obviously. Like, unless you can prove that they're holding back, that's not really productive.
well, yeah, I do think you can prove that Daniel would be holding back. I mean, like that's also why I put the whole ceiling thing into question. I mean,
No, because
you
it
can
says
okay. This is completely getting off like track. Like, yeah, like we're gonna have disagreements on what's productive and what's unproductive.
because
But
I'm gonna tell you it's trivial. Why? Because why it's trivial is because given we both agree on the possibility that both are holding back, why is asking me to prove that the other guy is not holding back productive? Because why? I can just we'll never get anywhere. We can just say that both are holding back minimally, sorry, maximally, and then okay, neither like we don't get any scaling for that. It's
okay,
retarded.
okay.
On
You
screen, seemingly they still go relative, and the guy just has an upper hand.
like, do you want me to respond to this, or do you want me to like talk about your tier list? Because I don't really care to respond to this. I feel like I have my reasons for why. Like we would just go. This would just be a whole nother topic. I don't really care to discuss this one.
I mean, not really, because I think when Daniel adjusts, he just has. I mean, it's very similar to my first response. I think when Daniel adjusts, he just has way different fights.
Yeah, let's talk about another part on your tier list if that's fine. Like we can just move on because we're just, huh?
Sure, yeah. One sec, let me see.
You want to talk about Drug Samuel versus Old Jin Young? Full power Old Jin Young.
I think they're like around the same level. I don't mind if you have Jin Young above.
Yeah, I don't like. Why would Samuel be on that level though? Like that's just never been stated.
Oh yeah, it is. So the guy Jin Young just says that he would have a hard time beating Samuel, and then I don't even think he saw Samuel through power.
Do you want to know the context? There's context to that. It's stated right after too. Do you want the scan?
I was on the chapter yesterday, but yeah.
Yeah. The whole context is because he can grow endlessly, and that's what gives Jin Young trouble, like through his inferiority. And Drug Samuel would be like the peak of that sense of inferiority because he sees that like, fuck, dude, why did my dad have to be the AC genius, and why couldn't it be Gaprion Kim? And like like that whole interaction.
Okay. So do you think that an ant that grows endlessly is going to be hard to beat?
Yeah, but I don't think outright that that version of Samuel is like stronger or on the same level of Jin Young, unless you mean like just possibly.
No, I mean like, hold on.
Like, do you think that he's grown to that level, or do you think that he can grow to that level? Like
No,
that's
that asked you a different question. Do you think an ant, like a little insect that grows endlessly and is gonna just keep growing stronger unless you squash it, do you think that's gonna be hard to beat as well?
that's just relative. Like Samuel's like a regular human with copious amounts of inferiority, and he obviously has a state of, he has his most dangerous thing, which is his endurance. That's obviously attributed to it. I don't think this is relevant at all. Like what you're trying to say is that yeah, an ant, if unless I don't squash it, I mean, yeah, if it does grow endlessly and the cap is infinite, yeah. If we don't stop it now or at a certain point, yeah, it's gonna be fucking dangerous. Like what? To fight? Yeah, obviously.
No, the reason I'm saying that is because given you can squash an ant at the beginning of the fight.
Okay.
There's gonna be some kind of there's gonna be some kind of threshold you need to pass of strength for the fight to obviously be hard. You cannot say that okay, an ant that grows endlessly is going to be a hard fight. So if that's the case, and
yes, you can.
If the ant, okay,
hold on.
It's going to be a hard fight for you?
Hold on. If the ant doesn't have attributions of endurance or crazy endurance, obviously you can't. But that's one of Samuel's main attributes. Like he is so strong. He's so strong because of his endurance, or he's an opponent because. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. Here.
Yeah. So, again, even you cannot say that an ant that grows infinitely. By the way, can you send this gameplay?
You want it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, he states the reason for why he's so strong.
Okay. So again.
Wait. Sorry. My bad. Let me ask Krebs. Yo, Krebs, can you send? Sorry, my bad. Oh my god, I keep talking. Cutting you off. We can do talking sick. Yeah, sure. Krebs, could you? You don't want to do talking sick?
I mean, not really. No.
Okay. Krebs, could you go find the chapter for me, please?
Which one?
The one where Samuel talks about Jin Young. I mean, not my bad. Jin Young talks about Samuel.
It's like 464.
Okay, let me go there. All right, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So the whole response is just saying, obviously saying like an ant is not an easy fight. Sorry, it's not a hard fight. It's going to be relative. But then the response is supposed to show you that with a hard fight is just going to be indexed to, how obviously how you perform in the fight, and then you're going to be past some kind of threshold to actually cause the fight to be hard when you in your beginning state. So when you start the fight and you start growing endlessly, you can't be a hard fight unless you either eventually reach to that point or you're already at some kind of point of strength.
Yeah, so I've already addressed this.
No, again. So when the guy Samuel is called a hard fight, you can't say that the guy just way stronger. He might outgrow him sometime. I think it's going to be next to what's going to happen in a real fight.
I've already addressed this. Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to move on? I've already addressed this. Yeah. Essentially, the whole thing with Samuel versus Jin Young, and I've already said this. Like, his attribution is to his endurance, and which is why he would be able to grow endlessly, unlike the ant, which you can stomp on immediately and not let him grow. If he has no room to grow, right, and there's no way for him to actually grow, and he just gets squashed immediately, he's obviously going to lose in that instance. But in the case of potential growth, what Jin Young clearly states is Samuel is a tough opponent, or he'd be hard to fight up against, and then he gives the attribute of him growing so much. not necessarily indexed to him being so strong or him being this or that, but rather he can grow to this point and give him trouble. Obviously, the probability for him actually growing, unlike the ant, is much higher because it's indexed to his endurance.
No, both are going to be growing. And then when you say the difference there is obviously going to be endurance and like durability. When I say endurance, I just think you mean durability as well.
Yeah,
Is that what you mean? Okay.
I mean both.
Yeah. So yeah, if the difference is going to be endurance and durability, I'm fine with saying that the thing that's going to be allowing Samuel to be stronger than Jin Young is just going to be, partly his endurance. But then it just seems weird to me to say that Jin Young is going to say the guy is a hard fight when he doesn't even think or know that the guy is going to be a hard fight within the context of a fight. You're pretty much saying that eventually, in like 10,000 years, Samuel's going to be strong enough to beat Jin Young or be a hard fight for Jin Young. Doesn't make sense to me. I think in the context
That's
of a fight, he's going to outgrow Jin Young or grow stronger to
that's
be or grow,
that
grow as strong as Jin Young.
yeah, that's not what I'm saying though. He analyzes his body prior and he understands like the musculature and there's a reason why he gave him inferiority. He understands that he grows as he continues to fight. The whole thing is that I'm not saying that like, oh, he's saying this in like 10,000 years he'd be this. No, I'm saying this like in a real fight, but I'm saying like do you think that version that fought Jake, that drugged Samuel that fought Jake is as strong? Like I'm saying as a cap. Like obviously that like in the actual fight, right? He would continue to grow within that fight and then give Jin Young a hard time. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, do you think that the base or do you think that the potential is what leads him to being like this strong or this deadly? My contention isn't contingent upon his current state. I mean his actualized state, but his current state. That's what my contention's based on. Like why would you have him this? Like you're
Oh yeah, I don't think that like when Samuel just goes into crazy mode or inferiority complex, he just immediately starts being a hard fight for Jiang. I'm just saying that in a relevant context for a fight, I think in a fight he's gonna grow strong enough to actually fight Jin Young. Otherwise, the same is just so weird to say. It's like me saying again for an ant, I'm gonna fight an ant, and then I'm just not gonna fight it. I'm not gonna kill it, and in 10,000 years, it's gonna be as strong as I am. Or maybe I do fight it and kill it, but it's never actually gonna be strong enough to be a hard fight for me. So if he's saying he's gonna be a hard fight or he is a hard fight, then if they actually fought, I think he would be a hard fight. He's gonna keep growing. He just would beat the guy.
All right, yeah. So do you want to move on then? Like I don't like.
Yeah.
I think this is going circular. Okay. Do you want to talk about? I'll do one more discussion if I can. Let's see. What else do I like majorly disagree on?
Fuck G-Chain.
Hey,
Fuck G-Chain.
Akeno.
Fuck G-Chain.
Yeah,
Yo,
what's
Akeno.
up?
Fuck G-Chain.
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, see you soon, nigga.
Yo, who was that?
That was Vortex, bro. Why does Vortex just sound like Gyro, bro?
You didn't give it, bro. Come on, man. Fake friend, bro.
You didn't give the shout out?
You didn't give me the shout out, bro.
Yeah, it messed me up on my flow, dude. When I said that, bro, I started stuttering after I said it. Don't do it, Euro. It's a trap. Yeah, you wanna? Honestly, I don't want to do that, bro. That takes too long.
You shrink success.
Oh,
You want to do that tomorrow or anytime soon? I'm gonna like I set like a timer for 30 minutes. It's not 30 minutes, but it's close. But you wanna do another one, or do you want to save like the G-Chain topic?
wait, can
for
I pick
later?
one for you guys?
You didn't mean
Yeah, sure.
You can decide.
All right, let me pick one. Go up to. Wait, can you ping me Euro trailers?
I
Yeah.
can just send it.
I'll do something bigger.
I mean, if you don't want to talk now, we can talk tomorrow. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if you're fine with that, yeah. But he's gonna pick the topic, I guess, that we could talk about.
Let me see.
Here, that's an shot.
Yeah, you guys can talk about old Gabriel versus Jaegon.
Old Gapriang versus Jaeyan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't scale Jagan. I just narrative pick.
Okay.
So high.
Then do you want to do like James versus Prime Gap?
Yeah, sure, easily.
Or do you want to do like, is it like narrative based? Because if it's narrative based, I don't give a shit.
No, I think he just scales above gap.
Oh, well, then yeah, we can talk about that tomorrow then.
Okay.
Right. I mean, it's gonna be literally the same topic. I just think he's above Daniel, who scales above gap or scales to gap.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Do you want to do? Oh, and then I'm guessing like. Oh, okay. So you want to do like, uh, I don't know, Seongji versus like, no, bro, that's boring. Or do you want to do like IT Yohan versus Daniel then, or do you just think like, or like do you just think that Yohan's gonna like use the fucking weakness or some shit?
Nah, I think he just scales to gun better, like easily.
Okay, then yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about IT Yohan versus Daniel.
Like right now.
No, tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. Yeah.
Any,
Take care,
anything,
Euro.
anything else y'all
Take
want to
care,
say?
Vorth. Not really. Oh. All right. Yeah, it was actually fun talking to you.
Euro, anything you want to say, Euro? Anything?
Anything I want to say? Yeah. Shout
Yeah.
out Krabs.
That's not that.
All right. Yeah. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.